Good morning everyone. Shraddha Vasnik here. In today's lecture we are going to study about the absorption of drug. Drug absorption, it is the process by which drug enters the bloodstream from the site of administration. After the administration, there is disintegration of the drug, that is breaking of solid dosage form into the granule. Then dissolution, in which there is entry of granules into the aqueous phase, and after the dissolution absorption of drug takes place by means there is entry of dissolved molecule into the blood circulation. Then physiology of absorption. The plasma membrane is made up of lipids and proteins. Plasma membrane allows the entry and exit of the material, which means the ability of plasma membrane to permit certain substances and restrict passage of other is known as selective permeability, which means the absorption of drug refers to the biological process by which nutrients from the digested food molecules are taken up by the body's cells and transported into the bloodstream. The absorption of drug primarily occurs through the two mechanisms. First is passive diffusion, which is also known as passive transport mechanism and downhill transport, and second one is active transport mechanism, which is also known as uphill mechanism and carrier mediated transport mechanism. First is passive transport mechanism. In passive transport mechanism, it is a very common mechanism by which drugs are absorbed. It occurs when there is greater movement of molecules from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration, and it depends upon the concentration of gradients. There is a bidirectional movement of molecules which depends on the concentration of gradients without involvement of energy. Most of the drugs are absorbed by this mechanism. The drugs like lipid soluble drugs, unionized drugs are transferred across the cell membrane by the passive diffusion mechanism. Then second one is the active transport mechanism. Active transport mechanism, it is the specialized process. In this, drug is transported from the region of lower concentration to the region of higher concentration. In this, there is involvement of energy. The drug attaches to the special carrier complex in the membrane and forms drug carrier complex. It gets dissociated into free drug and carrier accept another drug molecule. In this way, drug is released. It shows specificity for particular type of chemical structure. Inorganic ion like sodium, potassium, calcium are absorbed by this mechanism. Now, factors affecting drug absorption. The absorption of drug can be influenced by combination of factors which are broadly categorized as follows. First is physical properties. Physical properties of drug include physical state. The liquids are better absorbed than the solid, and the amorphous form of drug is better absorbed than the crystalline form. Then, lipid and water solubility of drug. Higher the lipid solubility, greater is the rate of absorption by GIT. Then, physiological factor. Physiological factor includes pH of GIT, which may interfere with absorption of drug. For example, acidic drugs are better absorbed in stomach and basic drugs are better absorbed in intestine. Then, ionization. Unionized drugs are lipid soluble while ionized drugs are water soluble. Hence, unionized drugs are better absorbed than ionized drug. Presence of disease. In the presence of disease, the absorption of drug alters, like in diarrhea and dysentery, there is increase in the intestinal motility which decreases the absorption of drug. In case of presence of other agents which may interact with absorption of drug. For example, calcium decreases the absorption of tetracycline by chelation. Then dosage form. Dosage form includes the particle size of the drug, in which smaller the particle size, greater is the rate of absorption. And formulation. In formulation, the substances like sucrose, calcium, phosphates are the inner diluents in the formulation of tablets and powders. These agents may interfere with active drug and affect the rate of absorption. Then, area of absorption. Increase in the area of surface area, there is increase in the rate of absorption. The drugs are better absorbed in intestine than in the stomach. Then gastrointestinal transit time. The absorption of drug is influenced by presence of food and gastrointestinal transit time. These are the some factors which affects the absorption of drug and physiology of absorption of drug.